I can be anything. I can be a man. I can be a trans reading rainbow. Hello, you guys. Welcome to my channel, All Things Militia, where I discuss a lot about what's going on in the political world and topics that pertain to everyday life. Shout out to all of my subscribers. It's been a minute since I've come on and did a long form video, but I just want to tell you guys I appreciate you. Thank you for your engagement, your likes, your comments. Keep them coming, you guys. If you see a video that you like, give your girl a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below because I want to get your thoughts on what I'm discussing. Share the video. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. You can do all those things, and don't forget to subscribe if you are interested. So there's been a lot going on. I haven't had time to catch up with everything, but I wanted to come on here today and talk about the former President Barack Obama, who is a former president that seemingly cannot just fade off into the background. Okay, you know, recently he opened up his presidential library, or his presidential library recently opened in Chicago, and he had several celebrities come out in attendance for the opening of his presidential library, the Reading Rainbow, I like to call it. And so here recently he did an interview talking about none other than President Trump, and had the nerve to talk about President Trump's obsession with him. But if I recall, he was the one that consistently keeps Trump's name in his mouth. I mean, you could say, if you say Trump talks about him, he talks about Trump just as much, if not more. He was even at Jesse Jackson's funeral talking about Trump. And their bought and paid for liberal media has spent the last decade plus talking about Trump. Yet here he is talking about President Trump having an obsession with him. I think it's a fantasy. He wishes he had an obsession with him.
You got to ask him what it is that
The obsession?
the obsession.
I know what it is.
Yeah, what? I obviously, have a room in his head.
Rent free. You do everything with grace.
A suite in his head. The idea that I'd be worrying about
Came before.
somebody who came before and me trying to measure, like, what's he done today? Look, constantly worrying about that is a strange thing to me. It shows me somebody who's not focused on the American people and the job they're supposed to do. You got to ask him.
And you were? I think not. It's just interesting how this guy who reportedly spied on President Trump's campaign, which is a felony, but they have the Department of Justice, in their back pockets. They're bought and paid for judges and DAs doing the bidding for them. So to this day, there has not been a single arrest for a single Democrat, although all this fraud and corruption has been found. And yet he still comes out, sit with this impudent face, talking about President Trump having an obsession with him. Well, we know, according to a letter that he wrote several years ago, he was the one claiming to have obsessions with men, fantasizing about making love to them. Yeah, but the media doesn't want to show that side of him. And here he is again, talking about Trump's weird obsession.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day. From a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous.
Really?
It's
just dangerous, says the man that started several disruptions in the Middle East. The man whose administration was behind the assassination of Muammar Gaddafi, okay, of the Libyan leader who was working on behalf of Africa, doing a wonderful job working on behalf of the African people. A man who will be known for his rainbow policies and pretty much the disruption in the Middle East, for all I can say. And his Obama care, or no, not care, whatever you want to call it, insurance that he forced us to pay for or risk getting a fine while they were giving illegal immigrants free health care. And he talks about him being worried about losing the Kamala. No one was worried about losing the Kamala. I probably could have ran a person that came out of nowhere and beat her. And let's just see since you want to talk about that, let's see how black men felt about Obama, because you know this is what you don't see in the mainstream media much.
President Obama, with all due disrespect, man.
Before I let this play, viewer discretion is advised because he is going to use some cuss words.
Your duck ass down. Like we can't see what the fuck just happened in the last 4 years. And then the 4 years before that. Like our pockets and our account don't read the fucking different numbers. Like we can't see we paying more for gas, groceries, and Snicker bars 305. That's my favorite candy, so of course I know. Sit your duck ass down, man. You want us to vote for Kamala? Tell us what the fuck you did for us. I'll wait. Tell us what the fuck gave you such a big voice for us. Like you did so good of a job. I'll wait. Hoe ass nigga. Y'all killed me trying to shame people into a vote. Tell me what the fuck you finna to do. You can't shame me. This is not high school. We don't play them semantic games around here, man. You mad at black men because they got a fucking brain and they can use logic. We can actually see what the fuck our account look like. And you mad at that, telling something, well, we gotta get the black man. Shut your duck ass up.
Well, you know, you don't see that much in the mainstream news media, but there were several black Americans, men in particular, that came out speaking against Obama. You know, he was a big disappointment because we thought that he was like a part of the fulfillment of the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, and it turned out to not be that. He was used to really escalate the New World Order, in my opinion, by bringing in all this chaos and confusion. And it's just interesting that during his 8 years of being president, he didn't visit Chicago one time. And you know, Chicago has one of the highest rates of black on black crime. This is the place where Obama campaigned, where he was a community organizer. But conveniently, when he got the position of the highest office in the land, he didn't bother to visit where he came from, not one time. And but he came after the fact when they were trying to run Kamala to speak to black men about voting for her.
Speak some truths, if you don't mind, please. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain,
He's talking about
joy
tomorrow.
that comes from those experiences. Who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land.
By fraud.
And is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine.
Oh, shut up. I'm tired of it, you guys. This shit been going on forever and a day. They talk about the same thing every 4 years. Housing, making sure our grandparents and mothers can afford what you all are giving for free to illegal immigrants. Okay, it's just interesting how he comes out trying to pander to black men. You know, during the 2024 election, he was pandering to black men, trying to get them to vote for a woman that they just put up without holding a Democratic primary. And then once questioned, because he said specifically he wanted to speak to black men, so they already had the black woman, because they know all we have to do a lot of times is see a black person in a high position and we go for it. Okay? But he wanted to speak specifically to black men. The men that they have pretty much put down, the men that they have pretty much tried to feminize. Now he wants to come out and talk to them about voting for a woman, but don't want to say, why aren't you voting for her? He wanted to make it like, oh, because she's a woman, you don't want to vote for her. Well, this is a woman that has been reportedly on record keeping black men in jail longer than they're sentencing to get cheaper labor out of them. She was also on record found to have withheld evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until she was forced to release the evidence. So could that be why people didn't want to vote for her? Black men? See, we're getting tired. All this stuff is old now. It doesn't work anymore. All the pandering and coming out sounding poised and diplomatic, and we see straight through the bullshit. It doesn't work anymore. And let's hear it from another black man on President Obama's presidential library.
You know, when talking about that huge concrete turd that's covering the skyline of the south side of Chicago, you know, the presidential library for Barack Obama, when talking about that, not only did he stiff the people of Chicago, you know, with the eminent domain and all that other stuff and them being stuck paying for it, and not only did he stiff the black contractors that worked on this project, you know, because Democrats are so, you know, loving of black labor.
Very.
As we know. But this guy stood on the stage and basically grifted. Him and his husband, Michael, stood on the stage and just pandered to black people.
If you know, you know.
They had all of these celebrities come and attend. They had, you know, all of these music artists sing. Can you imagine if, you know, Donald Trump had musical artists sing at his events? We're still hearing the crap from the UFC fight. We're still hearing, liberals are crying about that. But, you know, when Barack Obama sounds the alarm, they all come. And no one says a thing. But think about it. What is this guy actually going to be remembered for? Besides being a black face in the White House. I mean, most of us will remember the fact that he destroyed Libya
for sure.
In the Middle East. Most of us will remember how he destroyed race relations in this country. Most of us will remember how he destroyed the economy. Most of us will remember how this president, Barack Obama, gave so much to a specific group of people and denounced and ignored another group of people, the same which helped him get elected. And the group of people that he helped, you know, the alphabet people, actually have more rights in this country than the people that his party kept as slaves. Let that sink in.
Let that sink in. So while we so busy talking about color, because if you black and you talk about another black person, you're considered to be a coon, a sellout, a token, a tap dancer. Somebody came in my comments earlier on another video I did and said I was brainwashed. I said, yeah, my brain has been washed from all of the bullshit, the liberal bullshit. But this is how they try to, you know, put us out there. If you speak against someone that's black, then you're anti-black. You hate yourself. This has nothing to do with color. Skin folk don't mean kinfolk. Okay, I've dealt with some of the rudest Negroes, and I've dealt with some of the rudest white people. And then vice versa. I've dealt with nice Negroes. I've dealt with nice white people, Caucasian people. So it's not about skin color. It's about character. But they love to keep us generalized. And Obama won't be really remembered for anything except for what he did for the rainbow people, for the most part, and how he pretty much helped escalate the destruction in the Middle East. Here's another black man, something that you don't see in the liberal media because they're too busy trying to turn the ones that we have into the color of the rainbow.
The moment you critique anything that the boy Hussein Obama did, they gonna call you a coon, Sambo, a sellout. But we just being honest, real talk. We saw the radical changes that Hussein Obama made for the gay folks where he allowed them to get.
Barry Soetoro, Hussein Obama. But Barry Soetoro, if you know, you know.
You know what I'm saying? You can see that with your eyes. It was something tangible. You can say, okay, well, you know what? The gay folks couldn't get married before. Life was bad. Now they can get married, get all type of marriage benefits that they couldn't previously get. Cool for them. I ain't here to bash no gay folks, but what about the black folks with that dark skin like mine who voted for Obama? Where was the radical change that you could see for black folks? That we could see when Obama got in office, life for black Americans got better somehow. Our wages increased and it was better for us, even years after Obama left office. You can't see that because unless you ask an AI chat box, most people don't know what Barack Hussein Obama did specifically for black folks and black folks only. There are policies that lift up everybody, but if black folks at the bottom, when you lift up everybody, we still at the bottom. We just higher at the bottom. You get what I'm saying? So what did he do? Nothing. He went to Flint, took a little swig of that water, and lied to them folks and said that their water was clean. Remember when he did? They said, took a little sip, act like it was good, and, you know, I'm Barack Hussein Obama. I talk smooth and with class, and since I speak like this, people gonna believe everything I say.
And that's the whole thing. They come out, they act dignified, and they act elegant and poised, and they speak, you know, when they speak. But when you look at the policies that these people have been behind, see, that's why I say all the time, it's not about politics, it's not about personality, because that's all they wanted to dwell on when it came to Trump. He's brash, he's rude, he's racist, he talks arrogant, he's childish because he gives nicknames to people that are pretty much true of their character, if I might add. But they want to dwell on that, which is not even important. What is important is policies. What are being signed into law? Okay, because that's what governs us. So when you have a man that comes out and he goes hard for the LGBTQ, community, but he didn't do anything to elevate the economic condition of the black man. But he comes out when it's time for the vote, just like his party does. They come visit black churches, come talk to black people when they want their vote. And after that, they go on, right on, doing what they've been doing. Nothing but enriching themselves. And you still have people that worship these people simply because he's black, not knowing who was behind him, which was, I'm pretty sure, an opposite color, pulling his strings.
No, he straight up lied. Man, that water wasn't fixed. Them folks were still getting lesions on their back. Folks were still dying from that water. They had to brush their teeth with that dirty water. Man, anyway, we miss me with that shit. Then
he talking about in Flint, Michigan, when Obama had came out and tried to illustrate that he could drink the water. But to this day, reportedly, that water is still not clean. To this day. So we have so many issues in this country, but our politicians can always seemingly find ways to enrich themselves and money launder overseas and help out illegal immigrants and transgenders.
Always talk about white supremacy, right? How our government pushes white supremacy. When Barak Hussein Obama got in office, did he do anything to fight against white supremacy? Hell, fuck no. He couldn't have, because you still pushing American imperialism. That's the part y'all keep forgetting. What happened out there in Libya? You know we're going to always use Libya as the example. Him, Hillary Clinton, France, NATO, they all linked up, came up with some bullshit reason, said that Gaddafi was fucking up Libya, wasn't treating his people right, even though we know it's a bold-faced lie. Did some people get caught up in some shit when they were getting mistreated? Yeah, but you can say that about any government. And what did they do? They went in and got Gaddafi killed because Gaddafi was trying to unify Africa, make sure that African countries weren't dependent on European countries' currencies anymore, and use the African dinar, D-I-N-A-R. That was going to be the African currency to unify the entire continent. Obama caught wind of that shit, and you know what he did? Got his ass killed. And as soon as Gaddafi died, slavery ran rampant in Libya. So the reason that slavery is going on is literally because of Obama, who pushed American imperialism, a.k.a. white supremacy, but y'all still love her because he biracial. I get it. I will never understand the choke.
Now, and I will say this. I won't blame it on Obama because I do believe that a lot of presidents are puppets, okay? I believe it was some people behind him that pushed him to do what he did in Libya. But it was disheartening to see how a half-black man, since people love to talk about color, was used to promote antichrist policies like the rainbow, allowing men to marry men and women to marry women. To each his own. I'm not a judge, but God will be the judge of us all. And according to his word, that is an abomination. Then he went over into the Middle East and created a lot of chaos over there and turned around and won a Nobel Peace Prize. So you know these people are all in cahoots with each other. Their award shows, their celebrities, their corporations, their music puppet industries. All these people are in cahoots with each other and have been for years. Okay? I thought Nobel Peace Prize was supposed to be for people that promote peace. Then what's interesting is they love to talk about Trump being divisive, but they nonstop run divisive rhetoric on Trump and have been since Trump announced that he was going to run for office. But they love to come out and talk about how bad things are now, and things are good. The bad thing is that their party is well, I guess for us it's good, but it's bad for them that their party has been exposed to be full of shit, corrupt. And the very things that they tried to label Trump have been found to be. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that, you guys. If you want to further comment, you can let me know your thoughts on it. But it's interesting how this first black president that ran on Yes We Can, you know, and I've heard a few black people say, I didn't vote for him because he said Yes We Can, but he didn't finish Yes We Can what? Okay, so they making this automatically, we're assuming Yes We Can means yes, we can achieve the highest land. Yes, we can as black people come up. Yes, we can, you know, because they know that's all it takes is for them to put somebody up in a position that can talk proper, and we just fall just straight overboard for it. But when you look at the policies of Obama, what he did, he pretty much was a part of ushering in the New World Order, which is creating chaos and destruction. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know yours in the comment section, and I will see you later.